Imagine stumbling upon videos that expose the raw brutality of war and the ripple effects of conflict on everyday life. From public executions in a besieged city to desperate lines for fuel in distant lands. In today's chaotic world, where truth can be as elusive as peace itself, BBC Verify dives deep into these stories, separating fact from fiction. But here's where it gets controversial. What if the lines between justice and vengeance blur in the fog of battle? Stick around, because we're about to unpack it all, and trust me, the details might just change how you view these global crises. 1. Diving deeper into fuel shortages in Russia and occupied Ukraine. Published at 12:03 BST. Emma Pengelly, BBC Verify journalist. A viewer named Charles from Leeds reached out, curious about the fuel queues popping up in Russia and parts of occupied Ukraine. Queues that some believe stem from Ukraine's targeted strikes on Russian oil facilities. We're all about responding to what our audience wants to verify, so let's explore this topic with fresh eyes. To make this easier to follow, think of Telegram as a popular messaging app like WhatsApp, often used in regions like Russia for sharing videos and news. One clip circulating on Telegram captures cars and trucks stuck in motionless queues at a Russian gas station. The person recording voices frustration, lamenting the absence of petrol, specifically at stations run by Russia's major oil company, Rosneft. For beginners, Rosneft is like a giant energy corporation, similar to ExxonMobil in the US, playing a huge role in Russia's fuel supply. To confirm its location, we cross-reference details meticulously. The video's metadata hinted at a spot in Svetlograd, in Russia's southern Stavropol region, and sure enough, the Rosneft branding was unmistakable. I turned to Yandex, Russia's version of Google, for maps and street views, matching them perfectly to the scene. Plus, running individual frames through search engines pinpointed the video's online debut on October 10th. And this is the part most people miss. Similar shortages have hit occupied Crimea, a region Russia claimed in 2014, which international law widely views as an illegal annexation. Another video, surfacing around September 28th, depicts a lengthy line of vehicles at a TES fuel station in Yalta, on Crimea's sunny south coast. We verified it by aligning the video's hill ridges and road curves with satellite images, ensuring accuracy. For more context on how Ukraine's refinery bombings have disrupted petrol and diesel availability in these areas, check out our detailed article. https:/www.bbc.co.uk/news/articles/czx02k4560. It's a reminder of how military actions can unexpectedly affect civilian life. Fuel for thought on the broader impacts of war. 2. Authenticating a disturbing video of a Hamas execution in Gaza, published at 11:33 BST. Emma Pengelly, Cheyenne Sardarizada, and Benedict Garman, BBC Verify. BBC Verify has meticulously authenticated harrowing videos depicting a public execution conducted by Hamas militants in Gaza just last night. These clips, too graphic for public sharing due to their distressing nature, reveal armed men lining up 8 bound individuals in a crowded public square. Though we can't definitively identify the masked shooters, some sport green headbands often linked to Hamas insignia. In chilling succession, the gunmen fire, ending all 8 lives, amidst the crowd's chants of Allahu Akbar, meaning God is greatest in Arabic, as they stand over the fallen. Our verification process involved spotting identifiable signs in the footage, and comparing the street layout against open-source maps, pinpointing the scene on a major Gaza City thoroughfare. To clarify for newcomers, public executions like this are rare and shocking events, often tied to claims of maintaining order in chaotic environments. Hamas issued a statement alleging the executed were criminals and collaborators with Israel. Though no proof was offered, this claim raises eyebrows. Could it be a legitimate form of justice in a war zone, or a step toward unchecked power? And here's the controversy that sparks debate. In the midst of Gaza's turmoil, where armed factions clash for dominance, is this act a necessary crackdown, or a troubling overreach? We invite you to weigh in below. Do you see it as self-defense or something more sinister? Internal clashes have intensified in Gaza lately, with reports of Hamas battling rival clans. Over the weekend, these skirmishes claimed dozens of lives, including confrontations with the influential Dugmish family. A family member denounced the executions as a criminal deed on Facebook, highlighting the fractured loyalties tearing at the region's fabric. 3. A warm welcome to BBC Verify Live, published at 11:10 BST. Rob Corp, BBC Verify Live editor. Hello there, and thanks for joining us. Today, our spotlight shines on Gaza, where we've verified footage of public executions by Hamas forces in Gaza City. We're digging into which armed groups are jockeying for control now that Israeli troops have pulled back partially. For a bit of background, imagine Gaza as a densely populated strip where various factions vie for influence, leading to these volatile confrontations. We love hearing from you. Send us tips on what to investigate next. One suggestion we tackled was about Ukraine's strikes on Russian fuel systems and their real-world effects on people. We'll delve into that soon. Plus, an update on last week's probe into a Facebook profile spreading AI-generated fake news about a missing 4-year-old in Australia. Head over to the BBC Verify section on the BBC News site, https://www.bbc.co.uk for more videos, deep dives, and analyses. And speaking of sparking discussion, in a time of global conflicts, how do we balance verifying atrocities with understanding the underlying causes? Is targeting fuel infrastructure a strategic win or an ethical minefield? Share your thoughts in the comments. Agree, disagree, or offer a fresh perspective. We'd love to hear from you.